Today we're going to see some of the most beautiful places that you can visit in San Diego. Welcome to Voyager, my name's Armando, let's get started. Today we'll visit everything from the beaches and parks to historic sites and attractions. We'll start in the heart of La Jolla, then we'll see the must-visit places in Coronado, Balboa Park, Point Loma, Pacific Beach, Old Town, and much more. We'll stop by some of the local favorite destinations, and we'll visit some sites many tourists miss. We'll talk about what you can do here, including shopping, dining, and entertainment, and explore popular tourist destinations as well as local favorites. San Diego welcomes close to 30 million visitors per year, putting it in the top 10 most visited cities in the United States. Join us as we journey through the scenic beauty, vibrant culture, iconic landmarks that make San Diego a must-visit destination on any traveler's list. If you'd like a free downloadable PDF with all the information from this video, including an interactive map that you can find it in the link in the description below. All right, let's get started. One of the most visited communities in San Diego, La Jolla is a popular destination known for its coastal bluffs and caves, sandy beaches, its wildlife, and activities. La Jolla Cove is one of the most visited and photographed places in San Diego. It's a popular place for swimming and snorkeling, and you'll often see wildlife including seals and sea lions on the beach. Walking south from the cove, you'll find the children's pool. This structure was donated by Ellen Browning Scripps in 1931, and you can recognize it by the concrete breakwater. The beach was originally intended to be a safe place for families to go swimming, and when seals and sea lions moved in, the area became a wildlife sanctuary. Today, it's still a great place to enjoy the scenery and view the wildlife from above. A short drive north, the coves and caves transition into sandy shores. La Jolla Shores is a popular family destination, and they have all the amenities needed for a nice day at the beach, including bathrooms, volleyball courts, playgrounds, kayak rentals, and much more. At the northern end of the beach is the Scripps Institution of Oceanography and the Scripps Pier. Twice a year, the sunset lines up perfectly between the pillars of the pier, and this is known as Scripps Henge. I visited this last summer to try to get a time lapse. It was really busy, and I almost got the shot, but not perfectly. A short drive up the hill is one of the most beautiful and awe-inspiring architectural wonders in San Diego. The Salk Institute is a world-class research facility founded in the 1960s by Jonas Salk, the scientist and researcher who developed the polio vaccine. The Salk Institute is a world-class research facility, and it's also known for its amazing architecture. You can see the facility by appointment for free, and if you appreciate science or architecture, it's definitely worth a visit. Among all the beautiful places in La Jolla to visit, one place that I always recommend is Mount Soledad. Mount Soledad is a popular tourist destination and veterans memorial. If this is your first time visiting San Diego, I highly recommend visiting because you'll have an almost 365-degree view of San Diego, and on clear days you can see as far north as Orange County and as far south as Mexico. It's a great experience to visit and pay tribute to our veterans, and also enjoy a one-of-a-kind view of Southern California. Next up is Coronado Island, beginning at Centennial Park. If you've seen photos of downtown San Diego, you've most likely seen pictures taken from here. And that's why this is one of the most popular places for photography and even wedding ceremonies. This park is where the original Coronado ferry landed, and at Coronado's centennial, the park was dedicated and established for public use. Directly south is the waterfront shopping village called the Coronado Ferry Landing. The village has shopping and restaurants, or you can also rent bikes, kayaks, and paddleboards. And on Sundays, they have free live concerts. A great day trip is to take the Coronado Ferry to the Convention Center landing, walk north along the Embarcadero to enjoy Seaport Village and Tuna Harbor, then take the ferry from the Broadway Pier back to Coronado. A few blocks north is Bayview Park. The secluded park is much less busy and offers a beautiful perspective of downtown. On the western edge of Coronado is one of the most recognizable landmarks in San Diego. The Hotel del Coronado opened in 1888. It's known for its wooden Victorian beach resort architectural design, a style so admired that it became the inspiration for the exterior of Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. The hotel has hosted royalty, presidents, celebrities, including Marilyn Monroe, Charlie Chaplin, Babe Ruth, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Brad Pitt, and U.S. presidents like Franklin D. Roosevelt, Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, and George H.W. Bush. The hotel also has a reputation for being haunted by the ghost of Kate Morgan, who was a guest who passed away here. I've even had a chance to talk to some of the employees here who've experienced strange occurrences, like seeing apparitions, hearing strange noises, or feeling sudden cold. Despite rumors of haunting, the Hotel Del is a full-service resort, and I especially enjoy visiting the Sun Deck, which is a bar and restaurant that overlooks Coronado Beach and the Pacific Ocean. If you get a chance to visit, I highly recommend staying for the sunset and walking down Coronado Beach. It truly is a one-of-a-kind experience. After Coronado, heading a few miles back towards downtown San Diego, we now reach the 1,200-acre urban park known as Balboa Park. The park was constructed for the 1915 Panama Exposition. It's celebrated for its Spanish Revival architecture, over 65 miles of trails, 17 museums, and it's also home to the world-famous SanDiego Zoo. One of the most photographed structures here is the Botanical Building next to the Lily Pond. As of the making of this video, the building is currently being renovated, but it's expected to open in 2024 and restore the Botanical Building to its former glory with improved gardens and facilities. Next is one of the most beautiful places that you can visit here that many people might miss, and that's the Japanese Friendship Garden. The garden was built to represent the bond between San Diego and its sister city, Yokohama, and it's considered a living work of art. The 12-acre garden is lined with trails and ponds, with water fountains and traditional Japanese structures. They often have food available from local vendors, and the meticulously kept garden makes for a beautiful walk. Visiting here is a very peaceful experience, and I recommend it to anybody who enjoys gardens or Japanese culture. Just next to the Japanese Friendship Garden is the Spreckles Organ Pavilion, which was a gift by the Spreckles brothers to the city of San Diego for the 1915 Panama Exposition. Throughout the year, they host various concerts, and you can attend free organ performances on Sundays. It's the main stage for the December Nights Festival, and possibly one of the most popular places in San Diego to take photos. The structure makes for a great photo opportunity, and on any given day you might see people taking engagement photos, quinceañera photos, or family portraits. Not far from the San Diego Zoo is the Spanish Village Arts Center, a historic village built for the World's Fair. It's home to over 250 local San Diegan artists who create and sell their artwork in the studios and galleries. Throughout the year, the Spanish Village Arts Center is host to many events and art exhibitions. And among the photography community, the area is known for these multicolored tiles that line the entire square. It's a great place to visit to enjoy the arts and music, and even take a few photos. In the shadow of the California Tower is the Alcazar Garden, a beautiful courtyard modeled after the gardens at Alcazar Castle in Seville, Spain. The area is decorated in mosaic tile with fountains and a shaded pergola. The boxwood hedges are complemented with thousands of flowers, making it a beautiful place to visit to enjoy the atmosphere. There's so much to see in Balboa Park, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. And if you'd like to learn about our top recommendations, please see the video in the description below. About a 10-minute drive west of downtown San Diego is the community of Point Loma. The Point Loma Peninsula shapes the outer edge of San Diego Bay. The Cabrillo National Monument is a historic site that commemorates the landing of Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo at San Diego Bay on September 28, 1542, and that was the first time a European expedition set foot on what later became the west coast of the United States. The visitor center overlooks Ballast Point, the location where Cabrillo's expedition landed, and some of the attractions here include the Cabrillo statue, the Bayside Trail, which leads down towards the water, and the Old Point Loma Lighthouse. The historic lighthouse was in use for 36 years between 1855 and 1891, but oftentimes the fog and clouds would obscure the light, so they eventually built a new lighthouse down by the water. There's also a whale overlook where you can see down to the water, where gray whales often migrate between January and February. Altogether, the Cabrillo National Monument is a fascinating place to visit to learn about the history of exploration and the indigenous populations. Point Loma has a number of notable places where you can stop quickly to enjoy some interesting sights. At Point Loma Nazarene University, you'll find the Greek Amphitheater, which is the oldest Greek amphitheater in the Western Hemisphere, built back in 1901. It remains from a time before the university was here, when it was a theosophical society and a community called Loma Land in the early 1900s. Another great place for a quick stop in Point Loma is the Lucy Evans Lauren Memorial Garden. This peaceful garden overlooks Shelter Island and the SanDiego Bay, and it's known for its beautiful plants and pathways, benches, and gazebo. It's even available for wedding ceremonies. At the bottom of the hill is Shelter Island and Harbor Island. There's also Liberty Station, and if you'd like to learn more about those areas, I have a full video about Point Loma in the description below. This next area, although part of Point Loma, deserves its own category. Sunset Cliffs is considered by travelers and locals alike to be one of the most breathtaking places to watch the sunset here in San Diego. It's known for the sheer cliffs that drop straight into the ocean, the caves, and the trails that follow along the coast. During low tide, you can enjoy the tide pools. There are a few popular surf breaks. You can even see the gray whales as they migrate during the winter. The Sunset Cliffs Sea Cave is a popular destination for adventure seekers, but if you visit, make sure it's during a negative low tide. At the southern edge of Sunset Cliffs is the Natural Park and the Ladera Steps. The steps are an access point that lead down to the tide pools and beaches, but also make sure to be here at a low tide or you might not be able to make it to the beach. It's worth spending some time here to explore the trails and enjoy Sunset Cliffs' natural rugged beauty. Heading north a few miles, you'll find Pacific Beach, a popular coastal community and one of the most visited beaches in San Diego. The beach has a laid-back college town atmosphere and is known for the main strip, Garnet Avenue, which leads right into the heart of PB. One of the most recognizable features of Pacific Beach is Crystal Pier, a privately owned pier and hotel. During the daytime hours, the pier is open to the public and you can walk out to the edge of the pier to enjoy the views. The entrance to the pier meets the Pacific Beach Boardwalk, which is a nearly 3-mile-long boardwalk that spans from the north end at Law Street all the way down to South Mission Beach. This is a great place to enjoy a run or a bike ride, or just spend some time on the sandy beaches. At the north end of Pacific Beach is Palisades Park, a grassy area that overlooks North Pacific Beach and Tourmaline Beach. The area is popular for its views, amenities, and proximity to nearby surfing beaches. It's also a popular place for yoga classes. Heading inland from the beaches, you'll find one of the most beautiful parks in San Diego, Kate Sessions Park. Kate Sessions was a horticulturist and considered the mother of Balboa Park, helping to transform the barren mesa into a lush greenery with plants and trees. Kate Sessions Park is known for the large grassy area that overlooks Mission Bay, and from here you can see Pacific Beach, Point Loma, downtown San Diego, Coronado, and even as far as Tijuana. Near the southern edge of Pacific Beach at Mission Beach is Belmont Park. This historic beachfront amusement park is home to the Giant Dipper roller coaster, which is considered a National Historic Landmark. Belmont Park has a variety of attractions, including an arcade and rides like go-karts, bumper cars, carousels, rock climbing, and it's also home to what was once the world's largest saltwater pool, the Plunge. There's also several dining options, including oceanfront restaurants and snack bars. If you're visiting San Diego and would like to experience the charm of a historic amusement park, I definitely recommend visiting Belmont Park. Old Town San Diego is considered the birthplace of California, and it's the location of the first European settlement on the West Coast. Atop a hill overlooking Old Town is Presidio Park. Here you can visit the Royal Presidio, the first European settlement on the West Coast. And just next door is the Junipero Serra Museum, which was built in 1928 in Spanish Revival style, and today it's a museum featuring exhibits about the history of San Diego. Behind the Presidio is somewhat of a hidden park with grassy hills and trails. The trails lead to historic sites and monuments, one of which is this beautiful garden pergola that sits atop the hill overlooking the park. Down below is Old Town San Diego. In the 1820s, this was a small Mexican community of adobe buildings, and by 1835, it had become El Pueblo de San Diego. This is where you'll find some of the oldest buildings in the western United States. In 1846, during the Mexican-American War, American forces occupied the area. It became part of the United States in 1848, and the city grew quickly in the 1880s after the development of multiple military facilities. Today, you can experience a piece of that history visiting Washington Square Park at Old Town. You can visit sites like the Cosmopolitan Hotel, which was built in the 1870s, or La Casa de Estudio, which was built by the Estudio family in 1827 and considered one of the finest houses in Mexican California. 2 blocks east of Washington Park is an area most visitors miss. It was developed to preserve the history of Victorian-era architecture in San Diego. The Heritage Park Victorian Village preserves historic Victorian homes that were relocated here from locations all around San Diego. It's a beautiful place to explore and enjoy the historic architecture from San Diego's past. There's so many attractions to visit in Old Town, from historic homes to blacksmiths, courthouses, markets, and even haunted locations like the cemetery and the Whaley House. If you'd like to learn more about Old Town San Diego, we have a full video about the top things to do there. You can find the link in the description below. When San Diego continued to expand, they headed down towards the water, and that brings us to our next location, downtown San Diego. In the late 1800s, Alonzo Horton, known as the father of downtown, bought hundreds of acres of bayfront land at what is now downtown San Diego. He created incentivized programs to attract merchants and developers to populate the area. Over time, downtown evolved to become the heart of San Diego. What used to be a landfill and then a rail yard is now one of the most popular tourist attractions in San Diego. Seaport Village is a waterfront shopping area and dining complex located downtown. It's a popular tourist attraction and home to more than 70 galleries, retail shops, and restaurants. They have free musical performances on the weekends and some of the most incredible views of San Diego Bay, Coronado, and downtown San Diego. A short walk north from Seaport Village along the Embarcadero, you'll find Tuna Harbor, right between Navy Pier and Seaport Village. Tuna Harbor Park contains several memorials and commemorative plazas, including the Unconditional Surrender statue, also known as the Victory Kiss, which depicts a famous photo taken in Times Square at the end of World War II. Across from the park is the longest-serving aircraft carrier of the 20th century. The USS Midway was commissioned at the end of World War II and served for 47 years from 1945 till 1991. It played an integral role in the Vietnam War, the Persian Gulf War, and Operation Desert Storm. Today, it's the most popular naval ship museum in the US, with over 1 million visitors per year. And in the heart of downtown is a historic neighborhood listed on the National Register of Historic Places, occupying a 16-block neighborhood that runs from 1st Avenue to 6th Avenue south of Broadway, and home to more than 94 Victorian-era buildings is the historic Gaslamp Quarter. Today it's home to more than 100 of the city's finest restaurants, pubs, retail shops, and nightclubs. And as you can see, during Comic-Con, it becomes a hub of activity. But during the rest of the year, it's still a popular place for nightlife or enjoying the local events at Petco Park. About a 20-minute drive north of downtown is a site that's had historical influence in aviation's history. Sitting atop a cliff 350 feet above Black's Beach is the Torrey Pines Gliderport. In 1936, Woody Brown became the first person to launch a glider from the top of the cliffs and land back at the top. This began a tradition where the Gliderport became a premier site for paragliding, hang gliding, remote control models, and sailplanes. This is also the only public facility here where you can park next to the natural reserves that overlook the ocean. And in my opinion, this is one of the most incredible views of Southern California. The adventurous can take a walk down the trail to Black's Beach or explore the trails along the cliffs. But if you visit here, be very careful to stay on the marked trails. It's easy to get off track, and there are many rescues here every year. And now, here are some beautiful and interesting places to visit that are off the beaten path. Mission Bay. I think it's often overshadowed by the popular beaches and attractions. But as a parent, I find myself gravitating to places that are family-friendly, and over the years, Mission Bay has done a lot to improve the facilities, including the playgrounds. What used to be the information center is now Super Bloom, which serves excellent coffee and food, and it's also a great event center. Next is a great weekend destination and historic park. This park is known for its authentic steam train that you can ride. They also have a museum and restaurant, public park facilities, and event spaces you can reserve. Old Poway Park is one of San Diego's hidden gems, and if you haven't visited, I highly recommend dropping by, taking some photos, and enjoying the scenery. If I missed any of your favorite spots, make sure to leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, please give the video a thumbs up. And for more travel and adventure informative videos about Southern California, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel. If you'd like a free PDF with all the information from this video and more, plus an interactive map you can use, you can find the link in the description below. I just want to say I appreciate you very much. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn, explore, and share, and thank you for spending your time here. Now, if you'd like to learn more about Southern California, click right here, and I'll see you in the next video.